Hi everyone, welcome to our homework review session for Block 5, Year 4, and this is going to be Week 1's homework review. My name is Chris Pearce and I'm going to be working down through your homework with you. You're going to need to make sure you've got maybe a different coloured pen and you're able to have the books out ready and you can work down through your homework marking. You can pause the video at any time if that helps. I'm going to go through any questions that may be a little bit more challenging that you need a little bit more explanation on. So the homework that we're actually going to be covering off, if I bring it up on the screen, is this little section here. So just a reminder, you're going to need your bond book out ready, your spelling and vocabulary workbook, your CGP book, because you would have done hopefully some tests in there, and also a puzzle in there as well. If you did manage to do the You Could, great, but this is your responsibility of your parents to check that, or a guardian to look through that with you. So this is just a reminder of what we're going to be covering off. We're going to look over the homework from Block 5, Week 1. We're going to select any challenging questions that require more explanation. Ensure homework marks are recorded to help track progress and will direct you into the right place. The first part of your homework review, we're actually going to be looking at your spelling and your vocabulary workbook. So can I ask you to have that out and ready? Just hold it up to the screen just so you can see which book it is. It's this book here, okay, the bond book. So if I could ask you please to go to Unit 1, and this is on page 3. So we're going to have a look at the first task that you had to do. So what we had here was we had a word search that we needed to do. All of your words down the side, so down the right hand side, are hidden in the word search, but there are some letters that are left over and you had to work out what those letters spelt. So if you'd done the word search, most of the words hopefully were sort of covered up, or most of the letters were covered up, but you do have some letters that are left over, and the letters that are left over spell words with E and A. So hopefully you managed to work that out. That was your first little task in your homework. And then the next part of your homework in section B, directly underneath, this is still on page 3, you had to remove one letter from each of the following words to make a new word. So what we would certainly suggest here is that as you go down through your homework, you can mark it. So I just get a green. So any you've got correct, so if you've got baker, father, you can have two options here, haven or heave. Haven is like a refuge, somewhere safe for you to stay, haven. Then you've got waken, heap and chap, health, heat, what, and you can have three options here, so any of these would get you the mark. And wet, wet means to sharpen the blade of, so that might be a new word for some of you. If it is, brilliant, so you may have gone for heat or what. And then we've got fret and we've got treat. So well done if you managed to get those correct. Section C, that's underneath. Again, lots of options on this first one. What do we have to do? We'll place the first letter of each of the following words to make a new word. So it's the first letter. Just underline the first letter just so you know what you're looking at. And there's lots of options on some of these. We've got number 1, you can have peak, leak, teak or weak. I'm going to change colour this time. Go for red. Good if you got that right. If you do get any wrong, just put a dot and then you can easily come back to it and see why. Okay. So we've got Heath here, wealthy, weaker, heather, weather and leather. And then we've got cheat there. There may possibly be other possibilities, but do double check that they are words. So that's the end of the first page. Let's turn over now and see how you fared on page 4. Top of page 4, you had to find the 3-letter words that go in or are hidden inside these longer words. So again, I'm just going to leave that on the screen. This might be a point for you to pause the video. So you've got hum, art, dot, bud, sty, like a pigsty. Fee, con, when you con someone, swindle them, defraud them. Ivy, tin, gum. Wry, like a wry smile. Sort of using an expression, obviously often used in the sort of mocking terms, their wry smile. Dye, that's dye as in dyeing your clothes. Ban, cob, some of you may not have heard of cob before. You can have a cob as in a type of pony, but cob I think also means a small loaf, like a small loaf of bread. And then we've got gap and shy. So well done if you managed to get 16 out of 16 there. You can always write your score underneath, and obviously as you go down through you can give them a nice tick to show that you've got them correct. You can make your ticks nice and neat. I'm sure a lot neater than the ones I'm doing now. You can go down through and give them a tick if you've got them right. So well done. Let's go on to the next one. We need to place one of your words. Again, these words come from the side in each space below, using each word only once. So what they're saying is you can't say sty and sty. You can only use it once in each particular question that you've got on the side. Okay, you can use it again later on. You can see, look, I've used sty there, sty there. I've also used fee, I think, twice. Yes, I've used fee there. So yeah, a few times I've doubled up, but I haven't repeated the same word in the same set of questions. Can award some half marks here. So if you only get one right, you can have half a mark. But if you get all right, you can have 1 point or 1 mark. Okay, put 1 point there if you've got them all right. So again, go down through, double check that they're correct. Reading each one separately as you go along, just checking. So again, well done if you got 14 out of 14 there. Just going to write 14 over 14 if you did manage to get those all correct. Now we're going to have a look at the top of page 5. Another little word search. Good fun, these word searches. Good to sort of test your knowledge of spelling a little bit as well. And the letters that were left over should have spelt these words all use TH or CH. So again, pause the video if you want, just to double check you got it right. If you were, when you were doing it, if you found, oh, I had too many letters left over, maybe it's because you didn't get all of the words. And what I might have suggested to you is as you're going down through, you actually tick the words off in that column down on the right hand side. Okay. So well done if you got all of those. Shall we move on? Have a little look at this. Yeah, these are opposite in meaning. I've already underlined that for you. We're going to be doing some synonyms down here, but we actually started with opposite. So the words had to come from over here. So take, and these are in alphabetical order, so it makes it easier to find. Take and fetch are opposites. Number 2, got weakness and strength. And then we've got poverty and wealth. So again, give these ones a tick if you manage to select the right words. Then we've got a synonym of the word that is similar to the one on the left hand side. So we've got nip and pinch, clump and bunch together, strength and power, a hutch, like a rabbit hutch, wealth and riches, depth, hunch. That's a good word. If you have a hunch, you have an instinct, I've got a hunch of something. And we've got church. So again, well done if you got those right. And then if we turn over to the next page, hopefully see these. I'll put the words down the side here for you, just so hopefully you would be sort of, because place one of your words in each space so that the sentence makes sense. I think we only use the words once. Yes, we do. So as you're doing them, so if I use lace on the first one, maybe you could either cross through it or give it a little tick so you've used it. Okay, let's choose to red this time. So again, let's go down through. We've got lace, tape, tune, a cove, that's like a sheltered bay, an ape, fate, frame, spoke, rate, cave, kite, bore, that's like to bore down, wove or drill a hole to bore, wove, tone, drake is a male duck, and then rake. So again, write down your score out of 16. If you've got any wrong, don't worry, you can easily go back and double check, but as you were going down through, might have been quite a good idea just to tick these words off as you use them, just tick them off. And then what you could do is a sort of a process of elimination. If you did have any left over, because you should have used, I think, all of the words. I think, yeah, they were all used, I think, weren't they? Yeah. You can think, oh, right, I didn't use that one. Does that fit into that space? Quite good for closed passages, that particular task. Right, change the first letter in each of the following words to make a new word. So again, we're looking at the first letter on here. Just going to underline those first letters for you. So it's the first letter, and then it will change it into a new word. So just make sure we underline the first letter so we know what we're looking at. I think you'll know all of these. Anyone you may not have heard of is gape. Gape is like staring, gaping at something. Okay, I'm going to leave that up there on the screen for the moment, and then just allow you to go down through and check them. There would be possibly some other options, I think, on those as well, possibly. yeah, it could possibly have other options. So if you're not sure, just check with either looking them up in the dictionary and just double check. So well done, you've got all of those right. Apologies, I think my love tick is behind me, but I have ticked that one off for you. Okay, let's have a look at the top of page 7. These are all fruits, and once you'd found all the fruits, you would have been left with words that are fruit. Okay, so that would be the letters that you're left over with once you found all the words in the word search. So that might be worth just double checking you did all that okay. Now what we've got here is we've got to find the 3-letter words that are hidden in these words. Just notice on question 4 you could have had ape or rap, and rhubarb you could have bar or hub. Hub is like somewhere central, the hub, often referred to as like a city hub. We've got cot, ban, her, ape, rap, man, and pea, pin, and raw. Okay, so again, well done. You can always pause. That's the advantage of these homework videos. If you want to pause it, you can, just to give you a bit of time. Obviously ticking them quite quickly, but you might need to be sort of checking them as you're going down through. Right, we're now going to go over to a crossword. This crossword was had clues underneath for a cross and down, and then it's a case of sort of filling in the letters. I tend to find that when you're doing, say for example, when you're doing the ones going across, so if I just get a pen here and just show you what I mean. So across, it's obviously going that way, so going horizontally, and then down, we're looking at the words going downwards in the crossword. So what I tend to do is say number 1, to physically harm. Well, that's actually damage. So if we just look at our answers here, here's damage, and I might have used then that D to give me a clue to what's coming down here. So that was download, and we do have the words down here that filter in. So if you really weren't sure, you could have easily used these, and again what you could have done, I guess, is sort of cross them out as you use them, because I guess you only use one word once in the crossword. Crosswords are great fun. Maybe you can make up your own crossword. That would be good fun. Send it in to us if you want to. Okay, we're now going to go underneath and we're going to have a little look at what we've got here. Well, these, because all of these words down the side are what we call compound words, these are when we stick 2 or more words together. So think of football, or you can have some unusual ones like so and me for some, or even words that when you put them together they don't sound like they're going to be compound words. So if I said feet her, well that actually spells feather. There are some quite challenging compound words out there. If I put, for example, see and thing together, seething. So there are some really difficult ones. But what you've got to do here, you've been given A, and A sort of classifies as a word in this situation. You've got a go, a while, away, blackberry, blackboard, blackbird, armpit, armhole, and armband. I think to get the mark you need to get all 3, or you need to have 3. There are other options, so again do look it up if you're not sure in your dictionaries, if you weren't sure whether it is a compound word. But compound words are not hyphenated, they have to be together. Okay, like we've got the example here, daytime, daybreak, daylight. Sometimes with this it's always nice to try and see if there are other words that go with those words on the left. Helpful hint, compound words are made up of 2 or more smaller words, as we said. This can help you with your spellings, especially when the compound word does not sound like its component word. Okay, so we've got another crossword here. Well, sorry, not quite like a crossword. This is more of a grid where you have to put the words in, and these are all to do with jobs. And I would like to thank Vicky Cullen, who actually put together these, or completed these grids and crosswords for me. So she had good fun having a go. With these, what we would probably suggest, for example, you were given the M. So we look down, are there any jobs beginning with M? Well, yes, musician. So that might have got you going, and there are lots of other letters there to help you. Of course, it's a little bit more difficult when they begin with the same letter, but then it's worth counting up how many letters that particular job might have. So I know police and priest have got the same amount, but pilot's only got 5 letters, so that might have helped you with pilot coming down. So again, pause the video and you can double check, see how many of those you got correct. And then we've got to put all of those jobs all the way down through. So I'm not going to go down through all of them. I think it's probably just worth you pausing the video at this stage and checking that you got the right ones. Number 10 I'm just going to highlight for you, just because it may have been a new word for you. Who works in a museum? Call them a curator. A curator. I think most of the other professions you've hopefully heard of. Who designs buildings, or an architect. Again, go down through. If you've got them correct, give them a nice tick. And then down the bottom, you can give me a score out of 16. So when you've checked the, it's got a little definition of the actual job, and then you write the actual job next to it. So 16 out of 16 if you got all of those right. Don't worry if you got any wrong. And then next we've got a grid here. You've got to work out which number represents each letter to solve the puzzle. You have been given B to get you going. So what I would be tempted to do here, if I change my to a slightly thinner pen, if we went with B in here, and then you would find any other options where it's B. There's another B there. See, this is how you kind of approach this. Another B there. And then once you've put in all of your B's, you can kind of then use them to sort of guide you to work out the rest. I think the first one coming down here, I think it ends up being bike. And that obviously gets you going. Then I know that 25, if I look at 25, yeah, that's an I, so you can put in all the I's, and then eventually you'll hopefully be able to complete the grid. They're not easy though, so give them a good go, and then you can double check once you've done it that your letters correspond to this grid here. So your numbers represent those individual letters. Good luck with that one. Okay, we then got the last bit, I think, on page 10. So I think we're in the right place here. Yes, on page 10. Hopefully you can just check these last ones. So what have we got? We've got some synonyms. So entertain, amuse, slide and glide, offence and a crime, document and file, eerie and strange, accuse and blame, finish and complete, entire, that's a great word, entire, like a whole, globe and flame. Which of the words are antonyms? We're looking at antonyms now. Ordinary and strange, begin and complete, none and entire, stumble and glide, bore and amuse, and then forgive and blame. So well done if you managed to get all of your homework done. There was quite a lot there to work through. In the back of your book, right on the last page, so it's sort of 48, it's not actually put as 48, but if you turn over after page 47, you will see a grid, and you can actually colour in your grid and see how you got on. So unit 1, you've got 31, 30, 28, 26 questions, and 27, 25, 32, 33. And you can put your marks there and then colour in your grid. So well done if you did manage to do most of your homework in that book. I hope you look forward to having a go at Unit 3 for your next bit of homework. I think you actually do Unit 3. Let me just double check for you, just clarify what you do for your next lot of homework. You can also have a look at it at the end. It'll be Unit 3 and 4. Okay. Shall we now have a quick look at your next book? So what I'd like you to do, please, is make sure you've got this book ready. And we're now going to go down through these tests in your CGP book. Okay? So when you open up your CGP book, I'm going to get my book out ready as well, so we know what we're looking at. You need to go, please, to page 2. We're going to look down through the first comprehension. So if you had time to read down through that comprehension, you may have even timed yourself for 10 minutes. If you did, brilliant. If you managed to beat 10 minutes, that's super. Hope you did double check, you didn't rush it. Certainly being in year 4, you can take your time a little bit more. Make sure you're accurate. Remember, accuracy always overrules speed. Okay, question 1. What reason does Rodney have for being happy with his job? And the answer is 1C, he is well paid. And it said here, his pay was good. So well done if you got that one correct. Question 2. How is Rodney going to travel to the mine in Babcock? Well, on horseback. And how do we know that? Well, just down here it says, can you ride a horse? The response is yes. Good, because that's the only way you can get there. Okay, so hopefully you put on horseback there. Question 3, line 17 describes Rodney's eyes as sparkling. This suggests Rodney is pleased, Rodney is confused, Rodney is angry, or Rodney is beautiful. Well, it's actually A, Rodney is pleased. And if we go back here, with his eyes sparkling, and it said, I would like nothing better. So he's very happy, he's very pleased about that. So let's go down to question 4. Who will act as landlord of the Miners' Rest while Rodney is away? And the answer to this one is a man who works for Pettigrew in the mines. And if we go back, it just says here, I employ a man in the mines who will do part of your work and I will keep an eye on things. So again, that's evidence in the text. It's really important you go back to the text and you find the evidence. What you can do, easy cross out those wrong ones. You'll check down each option. Question 5. According to the text, why is Rodney going to the mines the day after tomorrow? The answer is B, to give Pettigrew time to sort things out. And one of the last lines here, it says, that will give me a day to arrange everything. Okay. Just draw your attention down here. This is a little glossary down the bottom here. Sometimes it's nice they put little glossaries in, so a little star. So wherever you see that star, you knew that that word meant a person who runs a pub, someone called a landlord. There it is. First line, a landlord. Okay, so you know that that's the definition. Okay, question 6. What does the word exhaustion, line 4, mean? And I always think with this, it's always worth going back to look at the text. So there's exhaustion. Okay, so in context, after 3 months there, he was starting to show his, now what would he show? Exhaustion, what does that mean? He's been there a long time. Well, he's obviously going to be tired. So tiredness is a synonym for exhaustion. Question 7, what does the word examine, line 12, mean? So again, we could go back to the text, have a quick look at line 7. And we've got inspect. Where does it say inspect? Can't seem to see it. We're going to fire. We just go back, just double check. Oh, sorry, line 12. So what does the word examine mean? I think I was looking for. So line 12, here we are, examine. Sorry, I was looking for inspect. I was actually looking for the answer. So yeah, inspect. If you inspect it, you examine it. So again, well done if you managed to get that right. Brilliant. So hopefully you've marked all those comprehensions and you can just put your mark out of 7, those comprehension questions. Let's have a look now in your books, and we're going to have a little look at the bottom of page 4 and the start of page 5. And these are going to be your reshuffled sentences. So with reshuffled sentences, you've got to reorder the words into a sentence, but one of the words you don't need. And we'll just quickly go down through these. So 8 is I got mud on my boots. So it's always good to start with a pronoun with these. I got mud on my boots. And that means the word spend I didn't use in the sentence. So it didn't matter where I put the word spend, it would never work in that sentence. But it's a really good idea with these, maybe a proper noun or even a pronoun like I, he, she might get your sentences actually started. Okay, so let's have a look at number 9, and we've got Ruth loudly slurped her banana smoothie. So here we've got a proper noun here. So Ruth loudly slurped her banana smoothie, and it leaves us with oranges because oranges won't work in that sentence. And number 10, we've got Tom. So again, we've got a proper noun here. That might be a good way of starting the sentence off. So Tom could not wait to, and could he not wait to visit Japan? So flying was our superfluous word there. Superfluous means the one that's left over. Number 11, we've got I asked a woman for directions. So I asked a woman for directions, but supermarket was the word we didn't need there. Question 12, we are going to a restaurant tomorrow. Got another pronoun here. We are going to a restaurant tomorrow. So eating was the word we didn't need. Number 13, and I always read it as it's written. So on floor, drop, teapot, Hillary smashing the. So the sentence should be Hillary dropped the teapot on the floor. So smashing was the word we didn't need there. And the last one, my dog found a bone underground. That's not slobbers. My So pronoun, my what? My dog. Found, the verb, found a bone. Where did he find it? Well, he found it underground. So slobbers is the one we didn't need. So well done if you managed to get all of those correct. Let's move on to the next ones. These are opposites. So some more opposites for you to have a go at doing. I know you've done some opposites already in your other book, but opposites is such an important thing. It's all about building your word knowledge. So what have we got here? We've got brilliant and awful, beaming and scowling, hasty and slow. Hasty means quick. Clear and murky. Murky is difficult to see. All and none. And bellow, which means to shout. So actually they would end up being synonyms, those two together, but the answer was whisper because that is the opposite in meaning. Okay, so bellow might be a word that you want to put in your word and meaning book. Okay, we're now going to move on to the next test, and the next test is test 2. So we're on page 6 and we're going to be looking at 6, 7 and 8. Page 6, 7 and 8. I think it's a good opportunity here again to pause the video, just to pause it on this screen so you can see what the answers are and you can mark them yourselves. These are called missing letters, and it's all about reading the sentence to give you a clue to what that word is, and also make sure your spellings are strong as well. So good idea, good opportunity here to pause it. So we've got the Victoria era was a something of great scientific achievement. So always read beyond the gap to give you the word time. Just go down through each of those and double check. Think about your spellings. The word swept through here. Make sure. Sometimes there'll be other words that will fit in. So I think noticing down here, we could have sweet or sweat. Well, you wouldn't say in 1936 a fire swept through the palace. The word is swept, so it's really got to make sense. Okay, so hopefully 12 out of 12 on that one. Again, a good idea to pause it if you're not sure. Got some more opposite here, but what you'll notice with these opposites is you have some missing letters to put in. So not only have you got to think about the word on the left, you've also got to think about your spellings as well. So we've got opposite in meaning. We've got frozen and melted. So you had to add in the L, the E and the D. Clothed and naked. Blunt and sharp. Thorough and careless. And then unique and normal. So again, well done if you managed to get those right. This one is a case of finding out the word that doesn't belong with the group. So it's a bit like an odd one out. 4 of the words are linked. They go together, but one word doesn't. So in 18, we've got stare. All the others like a quick look. So peek, glimpse, peep and glance. Grimy, dingy, drab, dreary and decent. Decent doesn't mean sort of miserable and dull. Ear. All the others are types of noses. A nose, a beak, snout and a trunk. Chess, cards, drafts and dominoes all sort of classified as games. We don't really classify yo-yo as a game. And then we've got thief, burglar, pickpocket and robber. And then crime is the one that doesn't go with the rest. Okay. Doing really well, so we're nearly there now. What we have to do here is we have to rearrange the words so that each sentence makes sense, underline the word which doesn't fit in the sentence. So it's another lot of reshuffled sentences that we've got here. I'm just going to go to my book here just to make sure that we're telling you the correct answers. And for 23, Chloe is a very talented painter. So again, what we can do is we can eliminate these. So Chloe is a very talented painter. 24, Linda ran herself a bubble bath. Oh, that sounds nice. Linda ran herself a bubble bath. 25, the words can be rearranged into sentences to form the fox hid in its burrow. Oh, yes. The, which is an article, that often starts sentences off. The what? The fox hid, so verb, in its burrow. 26, the last one, Harriet went sailing on the lake. So another proper noun. Harriet went sailing on the lake. So again, well done if you managed to get that one correct. We're now on to test 3, and again what I would ask you to do is just pause the page and double check that you've chosen the right word, and I've obviously put a black line here to indicate which is the right ones, to indicate which is the right word to choose. So please just go down through. This particular passage is all about the capybaras, and the capybaras are a type of animal, and I've actually got a picture on the next page to show you. So once you've marked these and you've checked them, make sure you've got them right. So as you go down through, what we suggest is, again, you read beyond the gap, but if you just give them a little tick underneath, if you've got them right. Okay, just go down through, just give them a little tick underneath. Any you got wrong, read it, see why it didn't make sense in the sentence. Sometimes it can be about tense. Sometimes that word just doesn't fit, doesn't really read correctly. And you're going to do the same here. There we are. There's a capybara. And we've got such hunt traditional. So well done if you got those right. So again, you could just put a mark out of 12 if you like. Okay. Now, what have we got next? The words on the left are related in some way. Choose the word that best fits these ones. So these ones here. So we've got florists, butchers, grocers, and a bookshop. Well, of course, a bakery. So those are all types of shop. Cotton, satin, silk, and felt, and wool. Same type of material. There's a type of material there. Tin, copper, aluminium, and iron. Steel, of course. Fight, brawl, clash, and bicker. Squabble, like to fight. Backpack, satchel, handbag, and briefcase. And of course, it's a rucksack that goes with that one. So again, pause the video if you need to. You can just check that you got them correct. This might be a good opportunity in these ones again, just to use elimination, just to cross out the wrong ones as you were doing them. Some more insert the letters, but this time they are synonyms. So these words mean the same. So what have we got? We've got chirp and tweet. Collision, sort of a collision if you had cars banging into each other. Might be a crash. Cruel and vicious. And then bent and crooked. That's the last one. I don't know why we need a tick there, but definitely there. Okay, nearly at the end now. So well done if you're checking these down through. 22. 4 of the words are linked. Underline the word that is not related. So we've got toss, hurl, throw, and fling. Drop. No, that's not. Doesn't mean to throw. So again, if I just grab myself a pen, check these. And then we've got foot. All the others are organs inside your body. Then we've got cloak, shawl, cape, cardigan, shorts. No, that wouldn't be like a cape or a shawl. Shawl is a bit like something you wear over your shoulders. So, stumble, trip, prance, stagger, and slip. So, prance, no, that wouldn't belong with that group. Tin, jar, bowl, can, and packet. So, again, bowl would be the one that isn't linked there. Well done if you managed to get all of those correct. Now, this was your puzzle. I did really enjoy doing this one. This was great fun. So, what do we have to do? Well, I'll read you this very quickly through. We've got troll trouble. Princess Clara has been kidnapped by a troll. The troll made her write a letter to her family, but in some words she removed or added letters to give clues to her location. Write down each missing letter and each extra letter in the box below. Then unjumble them on the lines to reveal her location. You can use the map of the kingdom to help you. There's a map down here that might give you a clue. Now, as you can see, I've actually already done this. What I've done is I've underlined where either there's a letter missing or the wrong letter has been used. And what I've ended up doing then, I've got these letters underneath here, and when I actually reorder them, it spells under the bridge. So I don't know how many of you managed to get that puzzle right, but well done if you did. It was quite tricky because I did notice on this one where the I is missing, I ended up putting the I over here, but it just took a little bit of working out. But well done if you did manage to get that. There are, I think, 14 little mistakes in this particular letter. So, your progress chart, which is at the back of your CGP book, you can fill in your marks now for test 1 to 3. It'd be lovely to see how you're getting on. So you can write your scores in here and then look down the bottom and see how you did. Depending on how many marks, it sort of gives you a little bit of a statement. So you can think about, do you need to go back to basics, maybe work on your techniques, maybe go back over the more tricky ones. If you certainly got some of the higher marks, you're a bit of a verbal reasoning star. So well done if you did manage to get lots of those correct. Then what we've got is, I've got the homework overview here, just to remind you now, after the lesson that will commence this coming Saturday, Saturday the 4th of April, you will then be moving on to week 2's homework. So for the ones of you, once you've watched the next year 4 lesson, you can then tackle your next part of your spelling. Well, I hope you found that useful. That was the homework review pre-recorded video, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Stay safe. Thanks.